If you've been racking your brain trying to figure out how to choose a niche, here's what I want you to hear before we go any further. The reason it feels so hard isn't because you lack clarity, it's because nobody is giving you the right questions to answer. Most of the niche advice floating around online was designed for business coaches and marketers. But if you're a kingdom business girly, your calling is woven into the equation in a way that literally changes everything. Your niche isn't just a marketing decision, it's a stewardship decision. And once you understand that difference, choosing your niche gets so much easier. If you're new here, hey, I'm Lena from Her Marketing Mentor. I'm an MBA-trained business and marketing strategist, and I've had the privilege of helping hundreds of coaches, consultants, and service providers build real sustainable businesses online. And I want you to know that I get it. I've sat in the exact same place that you're sitting right now, knowing that you're called to something, feeling the pull to help people, but not being able to put your finger on exactly who that is or how to talk about it in a way that makes people actually pay attention. It's one of the most frustrating places to be, literally, especially when you've already invested so much into your certification, into your training, into your development, your professional skills. So I'm glad you're here because this video is going to cut through all of that noise. Welcome back to the channel. This is video number 3 in the Build Your Signature Offer series. If you haven't watched videos 1 and 2 yet, I will link those below because they're going to give you a strong foundation for what we're going to be covering today. Today, I'm going to walk you through the exact 3-step framework that I use with my clients to help Kingdom Business Girlies land on a profitable niche that feels aligned and not forced at all. So grab a notebook for this one because we're going to go deep. All right, now let's get into it. Okay, so the first step is to stop asking, what should I coach? And start asking 3 better questions. Number 1, where has God already been preparing me? Your calling rarely shows up out of nowhere. It usually shows up in the middle of a story that you've already been living. So think about the hardest season that you've walked through. Think about the transformation that you experienced on the other side of it. That's data. Question number 2, what do I already know how to do on a high level? This is your competence, your professional background, your certifications, your lived experience, your failures, and the lessons that came out of those failures. All of it counts. Because listen, you didn't start from zero when you decided to become a coach. You brought decades of wisdom with you. So write that down. Question number 3, what are the people around me consistently asking for help with? This is your market's craving. Not what you assume that they need, but what they are literally reaching out to you about. What questions fill your inbox? What problems come up every time that you're in a conversation with another person who is in your sphere of influence? When you find the answer that sits in the middle of all 3 of those questions, calling, competence, and craving, that becomes your niche. Here's what I want you to really hear. A lot of Kingdom Business Girlies feel guilty about niching down. They feel like saying, I only work with this type of person means that they are turning their back on everybody else. But that's not how calling works. Think about it this way. When God called Moses, he didn't say, go help whoever needs help. He said, go to Pharaoh. He said, lead my people. He gave him a specific assignment with a specific group of people and a specific purpose. Your niche is your assignment. It's not a limitation. It's a lane for you to be able to operate in. And when you're not clear on your lane, you end up doing what a lot of coaches do, trying to speak to everybody, which means that you're speaking to no one. And when you do that, your message gets watered down. Your content doesn't land, and the exact person who needs you the most, they scroll right past because nothing that you said sounds like it was written for them. So I want you to release the guilt around narrowing your focus. Getting specific is an act of obedience, not exclusion. Now, once you've identified that intersection point, the next step is to run it through what I call the alignment test. Hey friend, I wanted to take a quick pause from this conversation because there are 2 things that I want to share with you. First, did you know that about 75% of the people who watch this channel aren't subscribed yet? So there's a really good chance that you might be one of them. And listen, I just want to say thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for letting me pour into you. It literally means the world to me. And if you've been finding value in these videos, would you do me a favor and hit that subscribe button? It helps this content to reach more women who are called to build purpose-driven businesses, and I would be so grateful if you would do that. Now, the second thing is this, and I'm speaking to the women who are called to business. You're called to the marketplace, but you're struggling to get clients into your business. I want to invite you to go a little bit deeper with me, because here's what I know about the woman who's sitting right there where you are right now. You're not lacking talent. You're not lacking passion to help people. What you're lacking is a predictable way to turn all of that into paying clients consistently without burning yourself out or trying to figure it all out on your own. You're doing all the things, you're posting, you're showing up, you're putting in the work, but the results just aren't showing up. So I put together a free masterclass where I show you the 4-part client acquisition strategy that 6 and 7-figure businesses use to attract a consistent flow of leads and clients. And you can use this strategy even if you're brand new and your audience is small. By the end of this masterclass, you're going to know exactly how to build that system into your own business so that you can bring in a consistent flow of leads and clients. So no more random posting, no more wondering if this is the month that everything's finally going to click. Just a clear, repeatable system that actually works. So the link to grab your free spot is right there in the description below. Go ahead and register, show up, and let me show you exactly what's possible for your business. All right, now let's get back into the conversation. The next step is to run it through what I call the alignment test. And this is where being a Kingdom business girly actually gives you an advantage because you have a built-in filter that most people don't actually use. Here's the test. Ask yourself this question. Can I serve in this niche with integrity? That means, does this niche require you to promise results that you can't guarantee? Does it ask you to use tactics that conflict with your values? Can you show up in this space and be fully yourself, including your faith? If you have to shrink who you are in order to fit the niche, then it's the wrong niche. And finally, does this niche have real paying demand? This is where I want you to take emotion out of it for a second and think practically. Are there people actively searching for this type of coaching? Are they already spending money in this space? Are there other coaches who are successfully serving this audience? And that last one isn't about competition. It's about proof that the market actually exists. You don't want to be the only person trying to convince people that they actually have a problem. You want to walk into a room where the problem is already known, already felt, and already being searched for. The next question is, does it give you energy? And that's really important because you're going to be talking about this topic every single day. You're going to be creating content about it. You're going to have sales conversations about it. You're going to coach clients through it for hours each week. If it drains you now before you even have a client, that's a sign that's worth paying attention to. Your niche should energize you. It should pour back into you. It should be the thing that you could talk about for hours without a script. So it should be something that you actually enjoy. Now, step 3, and this is the step that most coaches actually skip, and it costs them months of wasted effort. Before you build an offer around your niche, before you design a program, before you spend money on ads, you need to validate that this is something that your audience actually wants to pay for. And here's the good news. Validation does not have to be complicated. The simplest way to validate your niche is to have 5 to 10 real conversations with people who you want to serve. So not a survey, not a poll on Instagram, actual conversations, whether that's voice notes, whether it's Zoom calls or even DMs, so where you go back and forth. Ask them what they are struggling with. Ask them what a solution would be worth to them. Ask them what they've already tried. Now, remember, you're not pitching, you're listening. You're gathering language. You're finding out whether the problem that you think you're solving is actually the problem that they feel deep in their chest every morning when they wake up. Because here's the thing. You might start these conversations thinking that you're a mindset coach for women in corporate and then walk away realizing that what these women actually want help with is building a business so that they can leave corporate. That's a completely different niche, but you only find that out when you talk to people. Now, the second way to validate is to create content around your niche and watch how people respond. Not just likes. Pay attention to the comments where people are saying, this is me, or I needed this today, or, something along those lines. Pay attention to the DMs that you get after posting. Pay attention to who starts following you and what they say when they do. That is the market telling you that you are in the right lane. Now, I want to take a second and speak to the girlie who's been going back and forth on her niche for like 6 months, maybe longer. And every time she feels like she's got it, something shifts and then she's back at square one. Can I tell you what's really happening there? It's not that you lack clarity. It's that you're trying to get certainty before you've actually taken any action. And clarity doesn't actually work that way. Clarity comes after movement, not before it. Listen, I spent so much time overthinking my niche when I first made the pivot into marketing coaching. I kept asking myself if it was the right move, if I was qualified enough, if there was space for me. But the moment that I stopped analyzing and just started talking to people and showing up with what I knew, the direction became obvious fast. Your niche is not a contract that you sign with blood. You have the ability to refine it. You don't have to stay there forever. You can niche down further as you learn more. But what you can't do is build a business on a niche that you have never tested with real people. So if you've been overthinking this, I want to give you the permission to make a decision today. Listen, a good enough answer that you're willing to test is 1,000 times more powerful than a perfect answer that you're still waiting on. All right, so let me show you what this looks like in real life. One of my clients inside of the CEO Society came to me knowing that she wanted to coach women, but that was as far as she'd gotten. She had a background in HR, and she was also a Kingdom business girly who had walked through a really difficult career transition herself. And so when we went through this framework together, here's what we found. Her calling was in helping women navigate career transitions without losing themselves in the process. Her competence was built from 12 years in HR, plus her own lived experience of leaving a toxic workplace. And her craving, meaning the thing that people around her kept asking her about, was how to figure out what to do next when the career that you've built stops feeling like enough. So her niche became career transition coaching for women who feel called to something more. She isn't the only career coach in the world, but she is the only one speaking directly to a woman who needed her faith to be part of the conversation, who was tired of generic resume advice, and who needed somebody who understood that sometimes the call to leave isn't just strategic, it's actually spiritual. And that specificity is exactly what made her offer land. And that's what made her content resonate. And that's what made her first clients feel like they had finally found the right person. And by the way, that's exactly the kind of work that we do inside of the CEO Society. We don't just hand you a niche formula and then send you on your way. We actually sit with you and look at your story and look at your experience and help you build something that is uniquely yours. If that sounds like something that you've been missing, the link to learn more is in the description below. Now, here's what I want you to walk away from this video knowing. Your niche is not the thing that limits your business. It's the thing that unlocks it. And when you know exactly who you're talking to, your content writes itself, your offers make sense, your marketing gets easier, and the people who need you the most can actually find you because you've stopped trying to talk to everybody and you've started talking directly to them. And as a Kingdom business girly, you have something that's really powerful working in your favor. You are not just building a business, you are building a ministry through a business. And that means that the people who are meant to be in your world will feel that when they land on your page, when they watch your videos or read your emails. But they can only feel it if you show up with clarity and confidence about who you are and who you serve. So take these 3 steps, find your intersection, run it through the alignment test, and then go validate it with real conversations. Listen, friend, you've got everything that you need in order to make a decision today. All right? So that's the 3-step framework for choosing a profitable niche. Step 1, find the intersection of your calling, your competence, and your market's craving. Step 2, run it through the alignment test and make sure that it fits your values, your market, and your energy. And then step 3, validate it with real conversations before you build anything around it. All right. So if this video helped you, please share it with another person who's stuck on this question. You might be the reason why they finally move forward. And if you're ready to take everything that we talked about today to the next level, I want to invite you to my free masterclass where I walk you through the 4-part client acquisition strategy to get booked with paying clients, even if you're brand new, even if you have a tiny audience. You're going to walk away with a clear, repeatable system for attracting your ideal clients without the guesswork or the burnout. So the link to grab your free spot is right in the description below. Register, come hang out with me, and let me show you what's possible for your business. Now, in video 4 of this series, we're going to tackle something that comes up for just about every one of the girlies that I've worked with who has found her niche but doesn't know how to get in front of the right people. That one is going to be all about getting visible to the right people, even if you have a tiny audience, and it's going to be a good one. So hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss it when it drops. And I will see you in the next one. Bye now.